everybody. Welcome to another episode of Augusta Business Connection Spotlight. I'm Tiffany Justice. I'm your admin of the Augusta Business Connection page, and I'm also owner and broker of JT Realty. Today, we're here with Blaire Cundari. She is the owner of Rotties Creations. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So tell me a little bit about yourself.
My name is Blaire Cundari. I opened Rotties in 2021. It came after I was a vet tech and I had my first daughter. I was a stay-at-home mom. I decided that I was so used to working. So I knew I had to do something with myself. And so I just kind of threw myself into being an entrepreneur of my own business.
Absolutely. So you told me earlier when you and I were talking about doing the podcast that you like arts and crafts and you like to be creative and things like that. So this goes perfectly with all that.
Oh, absolutely.
So now it's more than just a hobby. Now it's paying the bills.
Full-blown business, yeah.
That's awesome. So tell me, did you have anybody else that inspired you to start your own business?
I'd have to say it was really just my husband. I came to him with this idea of opening a business. I had no idea what the name was going to be, how I was going to go about it. And he just backed me 110%. He got online. He started figuring out how to file all the paperwork for me.
Right.
He started figuring out like our logo and what we should do. And everything just kind of took off from there.
Absolutely. So speaking of the name, how did you come up with the name?
My business name comes from my late Rottweiler, Tori, and she was around till about 2022. She was such a spoiled rotten Rottie. I kept tossing around names and stuff, and she would just come over there and lay her head in my lap while I was working on these things, and I was like, I have to name my business after this dog because she was the first one I got when I came home from the military. And she went through so many different moves with me. I had to let her legacy live on through the business.
Oh, that's so sweet. I like that. My dogs are my babies also. So
absolutely.
I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah.
So where are you originally from?
I'm originally from Virginia.
Okay. Awesome. Yeah. Awesome. And then you just made your way down here. Military, I'm sure, brought you to this area.
Yeah. So my husband was military after I got out, and we moved from Kansas to back to Virginia, down here to Georgia. And now we've kind of put our roots in down here.
Absolutely. That's awesome. So you do a lot of things. Like I was looking through your website. I ran into you on Facebook, and I saw Actually, I saw this, which you're making because I'm a realtor.
Yes.
And I saw you were making these as a housewarming gift.
Oh, yes.
And I thought, this is an excellent idea for my clients. It's great. It's a cutting board. It's the coasters, and you can put anything that you want to on them. Home sweet home, bless this home. And on the back, you put the logo for the businesses. So this is actually not just for realtors. This could be any business. Someone looking for something to give a little bit of a reminder to their clients that, hey, we've done business together. I appreciate you. Or, hey, don't forget we're here, that sort of thing. Yeah. So I saw this, I fell in love with this, and I started using those as some of my closing gifts. But you do a lot more.
I do.
I mean, tell me some of the things that you do.
I do anything from door hangers to customized full wrap tumblers. Some businesses like for me to do their keychains for like giveaways. Pretty much if you can engrave it and it's not made out of PVC, I can do it. I mean, I've went as far as to engrave the eyeglass wipes that you use to clean your glasses.
Oh, nice.
So it just depends on what your idea is. I operate mostly off of custom work. So if you have an idea and you bring it to me, or you see something and you're like, I really like this, but I want it this way, I'm totally open to work with you on that.
Absolutely. I think one of the other things that I like is the metal business cards that you do.
Yes.
They got really good weight to them. You could spill something on them. It won't ruin it. You know, I mean, it's pretty much indestructible, and
absolutely,
I really like that because it also stands out. Everybody has paper cards and things like that. You rarely ever see anything that's metal, being handed out and saying, hey, this is my business.
Oh, yeah.
Take a look. Yeah. So out of all the things that you do, what's your favorite thing to produce?
I would have to say my realtor bundles.
Okay.
I think it's fun because the realtors will typically customize it with their clients' last names. I like to work with their logos. A lot of my realtors have fun, unique logos. I get to tie my cute little bows on them and arrange them in the baskets.
Right.
I do offer 3 different tiers. So it's a lot of fun to work with my realtors.
Absolutely. Your advertising is not just on Facebook. I see that you attend a lot of the craft fairs or the, tell me a little bit about how you do your marketing for your business.
I blast as much marketing as I can through Facebook. I do use TikTok. I like to film my processes and post them on TikTok. But you will catch me out at a lot of craft fairs, such as the Fort Eisenhower markets, the Evans markets. I try to really get out there and get involved in the community. That way they understand who we are and what we can bring to the table for them.
Absolutely. So I've always told everybody, one of the key things to having a small business is to put your personality and your personal touch on things. So like getting out there and showing people that, hey, I'm a small business. I'm not this big, huge corporation who's not involved in the community and doesn't know who you are. I'm here. This is, it's feeding my family. It's putting my kids in soccer and all the nice extracurricular activities, things of that nature. So tell me, I know you and I were talking about this just today. What is one of the goals that you have for your business?
I would say my biggest goal is within the next year, opening some type of storefront with a warehouse in the back where I can run my laser equipment, my printing equipment, but where I can have my customers come in and really shop the front. They can come in, pull something off the shelf and say, I want this product, but I want this on it. I can take it back there. I can customize. The biggest thing is I would like to hire maybe a stay-at-home mom, somebody to come work for me because I intend to have a kiddie corner because I would have to bring my own kids to work with me.
Right.
And I know what it is to be a stay-at-home mom and not be able to get childcare or not be able to afford it. So I'd really like to employ somebody like that. They could also bring their child to work and just have fun being out and socializing with the community.
Right. And that would be amazing because there's not a lot of places of business that allow you to do things like that.
Absolutely.
Or even have that flexibility to be able to do stuff like that. So tell me a little bit about a time when you started your business. Every business has its little, lessons learned, I like to call it. What's something that you did in your starting your business that maybe you wish that you had did differently, or maybe something that was like a nice little oopsie that worked out to be like a great thing for you?
When I first started my business, I was doing snow globe tumblers. I had no idea exactly what I wanted to do. I just kind of knew I wanted to own a business. I wish I had spent more time exploring what I was good at, exactly where I wanted to be, where I enjoyed most being, and let it start from there.
Right.
I am happy that I evolved into doing what I'm doing because I feel like I ran into a lot of walls. And there was a lot of behind the scenes rough moments that brought me to where I'm at. But I do encourage people to spend time and find their little area where they're good at and they're comfortable.
Right. And their niche, basically. Yeah, that works out good. Yeah. Trial and error is with every business, though.
Oh, yeah.
So, and that's hard. But, having a good support system, like your husband being in your life and saying, hey, you can do this. Let's do this. That's a help, in itself as well, having people back you up. So one of the advantages that you mentioned of owning your own business is the ability to be able to stay at home with your kids and balance that out. But I'm sure at some point it does become hard to balance work life with personal life. What is one tip that you could give to somebody running their own business, maybe a stay-at-home mom, something like that? What's one tip that you could give them that would help them balance their work life?
I would have to say, put the phone down.
Yeah.
At least a couple times a day, just put the phone down. You have to set boundaries of I'm available from 9 to 5, Monday through Friday. It's very important that you spend that quality time with your family.
Absolutely.
Because your kids are only young once.
Right.
So I have to remind myself often, hey, you've been talking to these customers for 3-4 hours.
Yes.
It's time to put the phone down. You can pick the conversation up a little bit later. But you also have to learn that you have to respect your customers' time.
Yes.
And you have to respect that calling them and emailing them at 10 o'clock at night probably is not professional.
Yes.
But you can get up the next morning and write that email 7, 8 o'clock in the morning and
Right.
have it good to go while you're drinking your coffee.
Absolutely. I find that that's one of my things is during the day. Not that I have little kids. My kid's grown now. So, you know, I do have that luxury of not having to worry about, you know, her. She's independent now.
Oh, yeah.
But I do find myself, and my husband says this to me all the time, you know, he's like, you know, don't worry about the phone. And I'm like, I cannot not worry about the phone, you know, because I've got people calling me constantly, you know, between the Airbnbs and running my own brokerage. You know, I got people who need answers to questions.
Absolutely.
But I find myself working better at night because nobody's messing with me.
Yep.
You know, I don't have to worry about my phone going off because everybody's sleeping. And so, you know, but that kind of is difficult too, because then I'm a night owl. And then, you know, by the time I come to bed and my husband's already sleeping, and then, you know, he gets up early in the morning, and I'm not an early bird.
No, me neither. Me neither.
So I can understand how that's difficult to have to, but that's good advice. Put the phone down, because sometimes, you know, those things can wait. It's not an emergency, you know, and soak up that time with your kids.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because before I knew it, my daughter went from like 2 years old to now she's 22, about to be 23. Yeah. It's crazy to think about.
They grow really fast.
Yes, absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. Do you have any interesting stories about a customer or an event or a time that you were creating something funny that you could share with us?
When I first opened my laser business back up in June of last year, it came time for me to run maintenance on my laser machines. Watched a couple of videos. I went out there, did it step for step, turned the laser back on, and it wouldn't work.
Oh, no.
And I said, oh, no. Turn it off, turn it back on. Still wouldn't work. We did that probably 5 times. I go inside, I get my husband. I'm like, honey, the laser is just not working. Right. He comes out, he says, because you're burning a hole in the side of the laser machine.
Oh, my gosh.
You didn't put the mirrors back in it correctly.
Oh, no. Oh, no.
I said, oh, man, I bet you that's the last time I'd triple check those things now.
I bet. Oh, my gosh.
It was awful.
Oh, that is awful. I tell you. Oh, I couldn't even imagine. I try to do things on my own, too. And that's, you know, you sometimes got to say, I didn't do that right, but I have a hard time doing that, too.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny now that I look back on it.
Absolutely.
I'm like, yeah, that was definitely a rookie mistake. But
absolutely.
We all do it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. So let me ask you this. You said you want to do your building. The future holds for you. Want to do a building, possibly hire on somebody to help out and everything. Is this something that you could see maybe passing down to your kids one day?
I'm hoping so.
Yeah.
My daughter, she's 5. She really takes an interest in what mommy makes. And she goes to school and tells people that I run my business and tells them all about the little things. And she'll even help me make her teachers little gifts and stuff.
Yeah.
So she's a little bit young to operate the lasers yet. But I'm really hoping that she kind of follows in the footsteps, and maybe even if she takes Rotties and turns it into a little bit different of a hobby or a different avenue, that's okay. But I really think it's cool that she's taken on that entrepreneur spirit.
Absolutely. That's always a good thing to pass down.
Absolutely. Yeah.
What's something that you want people to know about your business?
I would like people to know that I'm here to work with you. I've had people bring me logos that are really unmanageable. I've had people show up with no logo at all. Rotten Rotties is really here to tailor things to your needs and help you along the way. I really want to bring your vision to life and to give you a product that you absolutely love. So I really want people to understand that you can bring me a problem or a difficult project, and I'm here to work with you every step of the way. Absolutely.
I like that. And you don't do just individual little things. You can mass produce things for businesses. So this is a great tool to get, for advertising. Instead of going to those big businesses, and ordering from them, you can get things locally done by someone who's local and supporting a local business. And I like that about your business, is that you're here locally. You can do the things that people want you to do. I like unique things. So one of the things that I was talking to you about is I want to do a new sign for my closings. I have been down the Pinterest hole and I'm about to send you some stuff, so don't get upset. But I can't wait to do something like that. You can't sit down with a big business and say, this is my idea. This is what I want. They just put out a website. They say, this is what we offer. You can pick your own colors or whatever, and we can add your logo, but there's no creativity to that. So I think that's one of the advantages that your business has over other businesses, is that the ability to be able to sit down with you, create something, and take it out of your head and put it into fruition.
Absolutely.
So I like that. That's one of the best things about small businesses, is being able to deal with someone who is local and has that insight that you do, like, hey, what can I do next to get my business out there to make it unique, to stand out above everybody else?
Absolutely. And we support other small businesses. We're working with a small business to have some customized cutting boards made from different types of wood. I like to bring them in to buy acrylic from them, or if I need special sheets of wood or anything. So I really do enjoy supporting my other small businesses. And when you place an order with me, I also show your order on Facebook and TikTok if you give me your permission.
Right.
And that is also free advertisement for my businesses that place orders with me also.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So being an entrepreneur, it sometimes can be a lot of ups and downs, lose steam sometimes. Sometimes you say, I'm just burnt out, whatever. How do you stay motivated to reach your goals for your business?
I would have to say my kids motivate me to keep going. I know that I have 2 tiny humans at home that are watching me keep pushing. But I would also have to say that my customers also motivate me. Every time I think, oh man, this idea this customer brought me is out of this world, and I'm not sure if I can accomplish this, but I do, and I bring it to them, and their reaction and their love for it and their support really just motivates me at the end of the day to just keep pushing for them.
Right. It makes it all worth it.
Yeah. At the end of the day. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So over the years, has someone given you some advice that has just stuck with you throughout this process?
I would have to say it's just to keep pushing no matter what, no matter how many no's you get. You got to keep knocking on those doors. You have to keep pushing in different avenues. Somewhere, some way, somebody is going to give you a yes, and that is what you need at the end of the day.
Absolutely. What is your definition of success for your business?
My success is to have a good work-life balance, have a happy customer following, to be able to bring joy to my community, but to also have people that say, that's Rotten Rotties, and they are capable of working with me no matter what I bring to the table for them.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Thank you.
So you're working with a lot of people, not just businesses. You're working with the average person who says, hey, I want a creative birthday gift, or, maybe I want to just have something creative for my home that I've thought of off of Pinterest or Etsy or whatever.
Absolutely. Yeah.
But one of the things that you've recently created is the NFC tags.
Yes. So these are NFC tags. What I do is I take the business's logo, I turn it into a format that I need, and then I will put an NFC tag inside. This allows people to just tap their phone to your NFC tag, and the information, whatever contact information you want to load it with, will show up straight to your phone. So while mine is personalized with my logo, you can have one that's personalized maybe with a house, with your logo in it. Possibilities are endless.
Right.
So these are really nice to have because I don't have to carry around a bunch of business cards.
Yes.
I can just say, oh, you want to know more about Rotten Rotties? Tap your phone. Here, it's already at the palm of your hand.
Absolutely. It just popped into my head. This would be great for real estate agents.
Absolutely.
You could do a name tag with your name and a logo. And then someone says, do you have a business card? Well, hey, just tap my name tag.
Yep.
Because, when I go someplace and I'm bad about taking my name tag with me, but if I have something like that also, when I go to networking and things like that, it would be great. I'd just be like, okay, we'll just tap my name tag. So now you've already got my name. Here's my logo. You know where I'm from, but now you can tap it and get my information. That'd be awesome.
So these are made any way you want. I have them on key rings, so they can be keychains, go on badge holders. I have one that sticks to the back of my phone, so I always have it. I can put the prongs on the back to make it a name tag.
That's awesome.
Really, it matters. I can make them as small as 28 millimeters, depending on your logo, of course, and as big as a dinner plate.
That's awesome.
So it just depends on what benefits you the most.
Absolutely. Do you do any glass engraving?
I do.
Okay,
I do.
yeah.
Yes, we do. We've engraved countless decanter whiskey sets. I've done glassware sets for military families for like promotions. So yeah, I mean, glass engraving is a lot of fun. It does
Yes.
take a little bit longer, but
Right.
I really do. That's one of the things I really do enjoy. Oh,
Yeah.
and we do awards, so we can do your class
Oh,
awards and stuff
that's
that you
awesome.
want to present to your employees
Right.
or even like the T-ball team.
Mhm.
It just depends on who you need the award for, but
That's awesome. That's good to know. That's good to know.
absolutely.
All right. So thank you so much for joining us today. I truly appreciate you, coming out and doing this with us.
Thank you for having me.
And again, what's your Facebook page?
Rotties Creations LLC.
Awesome. You guys go visit her on Facebook and on her webpage.
Absolutely.
Thank
Thank you.
you
I look forward
again.
to hearing from everybody.
Absolutely. Thank you.